Hey, today I'm going to show you how to make a triple layered chocolate cake. For this recipe you will need 2 cups of flour, 3/4 a cup of cocoa powder, 1½ cups of sugar, 3 eggs, 1½ teaspoons of vanilla extract, 3/4 a cup of butter, 1½ cups of water, 2¼ teaspoons of baking soda, and 3 pinches of salt. Start out by bringing the water to a boil. Pour the boiling water into the cocoa powder, and then just whip it until you get rid of all the cocoa lumps. And now just set it aside and let it cool. Melt the butter in the microwave, and then whip in the sugar. Stir in the eggs and the vanilla extract. Now what you're going to do is sift in part of the flour, which you want to mix with the salt and the baking soda. So just mix in about 1/3 or 1/4, and then stir it in. And then add in a little bit of the cocoa powder mixed in the water. And just repeat this a couple times until you've gotten rid of both. And there we go, the dough is done. Now what we're going to do is cook the 3 layers. So this recipe is perfect for 3 9-inch or 24-centimeter pans. But if your pan's a little bigger, they'll just be a little thinner, or if it's a little smaller, they'll make a little thicker layers. So just about 9-inch. Line your pan with a little butter. To do so, just put a little bit of butter onto a paper towel and then just go along the whole surface. And then if you want to make sure that your cake won't stick, you can also just sprinkle a little flour. Now pour 1/3 of your dough into the pan. And if you want to be really sure that you've divided it exactly into 3, you can do like me, and what I did is I put the dough into 3 dishes like this. So I was sure that I have exactly the right amount. So you just need to use 3 of the same dishes and divide it into 3 equally. It's much easier to see, because if it's in the big bowl, you really can't tell. The cake goes in the oven for about 25 minutes, or until a toothpick comes out clean, at 360 Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius. For the icing, you will need 3½ cups of powdered sugar, 2/3 a cup of butter, 1/2 cup of cocoa powder, 5 tablespoons of milk, and I've decided to add a little flavor, so I'm adding a teaspoon of ground coffee. Melt the butter in the microwave, and then sift in the powdered sugar, and then just stir it in. Once you've halfway sifted in, you're going to use the electric mixer. The reason we don't start out with it is because it would fly everywhere. Powdered sugar really would make a huge mess, so you want to pre-mix it first and then go with the electric. Next, add in the milk. This time you can go directly with the mixer. And finally, sift in the cocoa powder, and if you're using the coffee. You want to kind of pre-mix the cocoa powder too, because it would fly also. You can just kind of use the mixer if you want, or you could get out your whip again. And then go with the electric. The consistency should be right, but if it's a little too liquid, just add a little powdered sugar, and if it's a little too thick, add a little butter or milk. So the last step in making this cake is now to assemble the layers with icing in between. So we're just going to put 1 layer icing, another layer icing, another layer, and then cover the whole cake with icing. Like I said, now it's just time to spread the icing. So just make it like this, and then put the second layer. Try and line it up as good as you can. And yet again, more icing. And with the last layer. There we go. And this time we're not only going to put the icing on top, but on the sides too. Get it as good as you can by using a knife, or if you have any special icing spatulas. If you want, you can add something on top to decorate, like some chocolate or whatever you want. I'm going to add just a few silver balls. And that's how you make a triple layered chocolate cake in Morgan's kitchen. Bon appétit!